Hey guys, Pete here, TalksByPete show, where I talk about things that are important to me. Today we're going to talk about a pretty awesome topic, which crosses my mind quite a lot. Communication with your spouse. A lot of people have problems with communication with their spouses. And it's because people do not take the time to understand one another's point of views, their logic, their knowledge, and everything in between. They can only understand the surface of things. They cannot ever understand what that other person wants and needs. And when two people communicate, they have to understand one another to a point where there's a certain level of being profound that makes everything understandable. It can't just have two different sides of a story. And I'm not saying that two people aren't going to have two different opinions about something, because they will. I'm just saying that you can have two different opinions that are gonna match all the time, 100%. They might match sometimes, but they're not always gonna match. Communication is key in life. It's key in your success, your finances, your relationships, your work, your school, everything. You have to communicate properly to know what you need to know and what you have to know. There are some people that cannot communicate with one another because they do not understand the logic of the other person. Not everyone understands things at the same level. Me and my wife, Andrea, me and her, we're the best of friends. We're so much in love, and I love her with all my heart and soul. But me and Andrea, sometimes we don't see eye to eye because we understand things on different levels. And me, when she tells me something, I like to dig, beneath the surface of the problem. A problem to me is almost like an onion. It has layer and layer and layer and layer. And so when you figure out one problem, which is the surface, the next issue underneath that derives from the problem on the surface. And then the problem beneath the second problem, the third problem, derives from the second problem, and so forth. What I'm saying is that I look at things in a different way within myself than Andrea does. And she does the same exact thing. But we see things differently. Like if we have a bill we have to pay, I think about all of our finances and what we have to pay, when we have to pay, how we're going to pay it, what we're going to pay with. And for instance, she could do the exact same thing, but she could want to pay it at a different time, pay it with a different kind of payment method, things like that. And sometimes we don't communicate 100%. But let me tell you, communication is key. Always. Always. No matter what you're doing, it's always key. Because you have to try your best to communicate in life. You have to find some common ground when you communicate with one another. And to communicate with one another, you have to know each other. You have to trust one another. You have to be willing to understand one another. Because what one person's feeling isn't always the same as what the other person's feeling. And that's understandable. What I'm trying to say in this video is that communicate with one another and you will get a lot further in life. You will become more intertwined with your spouse and with anyone, really. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's your spouse or not. It could be the clerk at the store down the street. It could be at McDonald's. It doesn't matter. You have to communicate. Just remember that. I'm Pete. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Peace. I'm out.